joined now by James Dorsey in Doha. He's a senior fellow at Singapore's Middle East Institute. James, thanks for joining us. So we did hear Secretary of State Blinken raise the two-state issue. That's something that the Trump administration had really backed away from. And as our reporter mentioned, it's something very few see as being in the near future. So all of these countries that have normalized economic relations with Israel and diplomatic relations, have they come to see that as normalized as well?
Well, I think, first of all, everybody is maintaining the notion of a two-state solution, even though many believe that that is no longer feasible on the ground. I don't think that what you're seeing with the Arab foreign ministers joining the Israeli foreign minister in Israel, meeting the U.S. Secretary of State, has so much to do with the Palestinian issue as such. I think what it does tell you that we basically knew when the United Arab Emirates and subsequently Bahrain and Morocco recognized Israel, that at that point, their interest in making the Palestinian issue a primary issue had vanished.
Exactly. And look at the timing of this. It's clear that the real crux of these statements that we heard just yesterday between the U.S. Secretary of State and the Israeli Prime Minister were mainly about Iran. This is a critical time where we could be days away from saying perhaps a new nuclear deal. So is the point of this to show Israel now has lots of friends in the region. The U.S. and Israel are in lockstep on preventing Iran from getting a nuclear weapon?
I think it's about two things. One is about Iran, but the other is what Blinken said in the news package that you had about the coming month of April, in which you have the seldom occasion of Easter, Ramadan, and Passover coming together. If you think back to last year, roughly around this time, it was a period of religious holidays, and you had the incidents on the Haram al-Sharif or the Temple Mount and the subsequent Gaza war. You have had the incident yesterday or today in Hadera, where two Israeli undercover officers were killed.
Right.
And I think that the Arab states, as much as the Americans and the Israelis, do not want to see a repeat of a Palestinian-Israeli war.
Yeah, and so at this time where you have these holidays coming together, basically all they want is to not have violence during this period of time. They emphasize that. Is it possible now, more than it has been in the past, to see a cessation of this?
I think that's doubtful. First of all, as long as you don't solve the Palestinian problem, you have the potential of violence.
Right.
And it's very clear that the Arab states have accepted the Israeli concept of not negotiating a peace negotiation at the moment, but trying to evade the violence by working on economic improvement of the situation of the Palestinians.
Sure. James, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much for your insight.